The number two thing that I found a little bit tricky, and I think maybe I'm not totally understanding how this was meant to be implemented, but it's the broomways. So the broomways are basically shortcuts you can ride on your broom from various scenes, so you don't have to go through other scenes and encounters. And we did use these quite a bit, but we sort of got to a place at the end of the game where we were like really sick of flicking through the book to go and walk through each scene. So, I mean, the broomways make it better, but I feel like you can also just not not do that. You can just not walk through the scenes. You can just flick to the page in the book that you want to go to, and like, because I guess we were playing it for the puzzle and to solve the story, we sort of ended up doing that. We didn't really end up using the broomways. Now, I think that the idea itself is really cool. I think this one also might be more of a player preference. Final thing about the game that we found tricky, and probably the thing that made it quite difficult in the second half for us, is the amount of testing that you have to do in order to figure things out. So you can see here that we've got the prompts. We've got our characters. So we have, for example, Garrett, who's number 10. You end up, you know that you need to find keywords and things, and so you know that you need to end up talking to all of the people in the town, but you have to look up the numbers. So, for example, we were going through and we were looking up, we were using the news prompt on every townsperson one after the other in order to try and figure out where the information was. And so it got to a point where with some of the quests and some of the puzzles, you were put in a situation where you didn't know what to do. Like, the clue itself wasn't super clear about what you were meant to be doing. So you would just sit there and you would just try stuff. Like, for example, one of them is a painting with a mermaid in it, and you have to figure out how to interact with the painting. You end up sitting there going through all of the prompts one after the other. Now, the prompt that it ended up being is not something that was super intuitive. It's not something that we guessed. It was something that we only got because we tried. There's another instance in here where you can give Gran's muffins to people as well. That's a really cute touch. Honestly, the muffins is pretty cute. With this particular example, it is a plant. You're interacting with the plant, and we tried everything, all of the prompts that we had on the plant, and the one that worked was the muffin one, which was sort of it didn't make a ton of sense when we played, because we would never have guessed that if we were not just testing. And our testing felt a little bit like something you were not meant to be doing.